Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you've been here before, you know that this is unfortunately not a Dark Sun update. I am away and traveling, so I'm missing 2 sessions of my Dark Sun campaign. But in an effort to make sure I still have content going up on Sundays that's related to Dungeons & Dragons, I have filmed a couple videos. Last week was my How I Got Into Dungeons & Dragons, which I will link down below. And today is an overview of my character sheet that I'm using for my current character, Salentithius, in my Dark Sun campaign, but also a look at the book that I created for my character Metea in my Planescape campaign. So without further ado, let's get into that. Before I get into Salentithius' character sheet, the first thing I want to do is go over the book I had set up for Metea, which was my character from Planescape, because I want to do something similar for Salentithius eventually. Now, the main reason that I got this book was because I got so sick of erasing my money and my experience points and just destroying my character sheet. So instead, I built it into a book. So it's just character. Her name is Metea. She eventually got the title of Matron of House Ileserves. She's a drow, a ranger, an outlander, and chaotic neutral. And then just down here, I had her experience points. This was what she was at, and this was the next level. I never made it something permanent because I just kind of threw it in the end, but I wish that I had made it look a little nicer. On the next page, I had her inventory. So up top is what I had in her room. So anytime I bought more stuff for her room, I would add it here. And then healing. I didn't really do this in any particular order, but I figured healing would be an important thing, and it should have actually just been potions because I did have some Hill Giant Strength potions here at the end. Next, I had her weapons. So I had a whip with a mithril tip, a dagger, a longbow, just like a ton of different weapons I had, and any physical components I needed for spells, I made sure to keep them here as well. Her kit here was just kind of the basic stuff that she came with and anything else important that I wore, like a ring of protection from the elemental plane of fire. I also kept my rations up here because I figured it was important to have them somewhere that I would see regularly, and I also for some reason have spell components down here too. So in the future I'd probably have a specific spell component page. Next, I had my important possessions. This is where I'd keep any amulets or VIP access to automata, stuff like that. My drow silk armor, which should have gone under my kit. I don't know. It wasn't very organized. It was my first attempt. And I like that my most important possession is a beat it necklace from the Beastman tribe. I just like to have that, just in case. And then this one was probably the one that I found most helpful, is I had my money. So I had here what I was keeping on my person, and then here I had what I kept in my room in my trunk. That way my DM wouldn't get all mad about me about my weight. And then any gems I had, I kept down here as well. Because this was kind of just set up on the go and wasn't exactly perfect, I did end up adding stuff afterwards. So like I had 5 pigs, I wasn't really sure where to put those. And then I got another whip, so I just kept it there. And any random stuff I was just kind of keeping here. And then I missed a page, which always makes me angry. And then here, when Metea became the matron of her house, she was entitled to some guards, so I just had them here, just because it was useful to have them. If we had continued to play that campaign, I probably would have made it look a little better, but this was just the basics, and I want to do a much more in-depth one for Salentithius eventually. This is Salentithius' character sheet, and it's basic D&D character sheet. I'll go over it in a little bit more depth, but that's the front, and there's the back for my spells and other random stuff, which I'll get into. Also, isn't that the worst? I got a dry erase marker on there when I was marking down my HP. I'm so mad about it. So to start off, we have my character name. My character is a folk hero, but he's an accidental folk hero. So he doesn't really know where he's the hero of. So Salentithius is his name, and he's the folk hero of, and I just wrote down many different random names, and every time he introduces himself, he uses a different name. He is a level 4 rogue, though he is about to level up to level 5. Folk hero, like I mentioned. He is a Thri-Kreen, and he's chaotic good. And like I said, 6500 is the next level, and I'm at 6225 for him. Down on this side we have all his ability scores. So he's got a 12 in strength, an 18 in dex, a 14 in con, a 12 in intelligence, a 10 in wisdom, and a 9, which makes him negative in charisma because he's a giant bug who likes giant bugs. I'm pretty good at getting inspiration points, but then I just hoard them, so I usually need to remember to use them, but I never do. Because I'm level 4, my proficiency is a +2, and my saving throws are dex and intelligence, so intelligence isn't that great. And I think that should maybe be a 3. I should fix that. For my skills, I chose acrobatics, animal handling, deception, which was kind of stupid because I'm not charismatic, but at least it gives me a little something there, and then sleight of hand, stealth, and survival. I actually need to remember to steal more things, because why do I have a 6 sleight of hand if I'm not stealing things? Up here, my armor class is 19, and that's in large part because I'm a Thri-Kreen and I start with a 15, so that's nice. My initiative is a 4, and I travel at 30. Thri-Kreen can also do this cool thing where they can leap straight up or they can leap forward, I think, 50 feet, which is pretty awesome. My hit points at present are 31. It'd be nice to have them a little higher, because Dark Sun is terrible, but, you know, we're making it there. Hit dice is 1d4. I keep it here as 4d4, so I always remember how many I have, and then up here I change it based on how many I have left, which is super important in Dark Sun. It wasn't so important in Planescape. Before we get down to weapons, I'm going to go up to my personality traits and stuff. So, personality traits. I misuse long words in an attempt to sound smarter, and I'm an accidental hero. So I try to be awesome and heroic, but I'm not really that great at it. That's why I don't want to do things like go into gladiator battles. And for misusing long words, I actually wrote down a bunch of really random words over here, as you can see, and I just use them in the complete opposite manner, because that's fun. Next is my ideal is greed, and I'm only in it for the money. I'm having a hard time playing that up, so I'm going to have to kind of get into that better. My bond is that I'll become the greatest thief that ever lived, so I definitely need to start stealing more things, because if I don't steal things, how am I ever going to get there? And finally, my flaws. I have trouble trusting my allies. It doesn't help that one of them wants to keep beating up little girls. And I'm very untrusting of cacti, because anytime I see them in the desert, I just run away. Next, we will get into my weapons. So the fun thing about Athos that isn't really fun is that your weapons are typically only bone or obsidian, etc., but not really steel, which means that almost everything has a negative to a hit or a negative to your damage, or both. I like to break mine down like this so I can easily level it up anytime I need to modify it. Otherwise, it's just too complicated for me. That's why I like to keep it broken down like this, and I'll just do the math on the fly. So I have a bone short sword, which is my dex and proficiency to hit, -1 because it is a bone weapon. And that's a 1d6 plus my dex to hit, -1 because it's a bone weapon. See how annoying that gets really fast? My short bow, fortunately, is made out of wood, so it's my dex plus proficiency, and I don't take any negatives on the hit or the damage, and it's a 1d6 plus dex. Next, I recently acquired a Githka, which is actually the weapon that Thri-Kreen are proficient with come level 5, and it's made of obsidian, which gives me that lovely -2 to my dex. The nice thing is, though, once I get my proficiency, that will negate the negative there in the to hit. And that's great because it is a 4d4 plus 4 -1 because Dark Sun in damage. And I can also throw it, which I'm super excited for, because it's a 1d10 plus 4 -1 to damage, so I'm excited for that. But then another nice thing about Thri-Kreen is that they have claws, and they have 4 claws. So anytime I want to make an attack with my claws, I get to roll a 4d20, and if I hit on them, then I get 4 attacks, and it's great, and it's not modified at all, which is fine because it's not negative and it's not positive, so it just kind of balances out. I also have Bite, which is a nice little bonus action to do. It's also Dex plus proficiency to hit, but unlike the claws, it is modified, it's a +1. And at level 5, which I'm about to be at, I get to add poison to my Bite, which is always convenient. And then there's the 2 fun things down here, sneak attack and bonus action dodge, hide, disengage. I'm a rogue, so that is awesome. So sneak attack allows me to deal 2d6 of damage with a finesse weapon as long as I have an ally within 5 feet. So I'm really looking forward to using my Githka because I can huck that, and if I have an ally near them, it counts as a finesse weapon, so I get to do 2d6 damage, and then I can run up to collect it, but I can claw the person 4 times, pick up my weapon, bite them, and then add another sneak attack damage if my ally's still there, which is great. Also, I believe at level 5, my sneak attack goes up to 3d6. So I'm looking forward to that. Down here in equipment, I just have boring things, kind of stuff that came with my character. I also bought some sand goggles and a sand head wrap. I have these 2 rations, which are special. It's because they're salted rations, and they're terrible. They will just dehydrate you right away. And then my ceramic pieces and my silver. Over here, I have my proficiencies and my languages, not very exciting. And then here I just have features and traits. and important information I need to know, like my carrying weight, which is important in Dark Sun. And then just down at the very bottom, I keep track of how much water I have on me. Because I'm a Thri-kreen, I only need to drink once a week, so I need to carry less water than everybody else. And now on to the back page. So I am an Arcane trickster. My spellcasting ability is Int. My spell save DC is only 11, but I'm thinking next time I need to add to my ability score index, I will add it to Int. And my 2-hit is a 3. Now let's look at the spells I have chosen. So for my cantrips, I chose Mage Hand, which I haven't used at all yet, but that's fine, I'm sure I will at some point. Chill Touch, which is a great spell to have, especially because it's a cantrip. It's a 1d8 of damage when you hit, and also it prevents anybody from regaining health until your turn. And then Ray of Frost, which is also a great one to have as a cantrip. And then other than cantrips, I only have some level 1 spells. And I have 3 spell slots, but I have 4 spells, so I chose Burning Hands, which is great because you can burn the crap out of people. I have False Life, which is great in Dark Sun because it will give me slightly more health. I have Shield, which is awesome to protect myself, and then Magic Missile, which is a guaranteed hit. So these are some pretty good spells. I'm excited to eventually add some level 2 spells, but we will get there soon. Alright, so that's about it for those. Like I said, I want to set up a book similar to the way I did for Metea for Salentithius soon, so if you have any cool hints or tips for that, please let me know down in the comments below. Also, is there anything that you saw that I'm doing that you do differently and might be more efficient for me? Let me know down below as well. So if you enjoyed this video with the overview, make sure to like it so I know to post Salentithius' book when I eventually make it. And if you want to see more D&D content, I do post every Sunday. Typically it will be Dark Sun related, just it's a little bit up in the air right now because I am traveling. I am going to try to get an update from my group so I can share with you what happened while I was away, so fingers crossed that happens. And next Sunday we'll be back for the regular program Dark Sun updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.